Howdy folks, Santa Fe Rail Guy here, and this is going to be Train Simulator 2019 Quick Drive scenario. I'm going to take some cars, some box cars, from here in Altoona, up over Horseshoe Curve to Cresson. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is put on the headlights, if the game will be so kind as to let me. There we go. Gonna put the reverser in full. Reduce the train brake down to 1%. Hit the bell. Hit the horn. And put the throttle on so we stop rolling backwards. There we go, get a little bit of power out of here. Now, I don't know why they start me in the passenger depot. I think that's just the default for the quick drive scenarios. Not very realistic, but hey, what are you going to do? Got 16 Pennsylvania Railroad boxcars and a caboose, I believe. Actually, let me go check. Yep. Nice caboose. Some people waiting for a passenger train being like, wait, am I supposed to board the boxcar? Probably not. I love the detail of this route, by the way. Turn the bell off. I think we're far enough clear we can do that. Now, you may be wondering why I'm running this at 30 frames a second, and it's because running it at 60 is really hard on my hardware. My hardware isn't good enough to really run it at full 60 FPS, even 720. So 30 FPS will have to do for just now. Let's go back into the cab view. Now the GP9, you have a very, very limited cab view. A lot of the times you'd have to stick your head out the window. That's the wrong view. Can't remember which hotkey it is for the view. I can throttle up now that it's 30. And it should be 35 from here to Cresson. It might drop a little bit. But it should be okay. I don't think we'll go over it. Let's see, we're already on a 1% grade. Put it up to 50. Gosh, I love the sound pack in this. Not running a full HUD because I don't want there to be too much clutter on the screen. You can tell we're in the 1950s in this. I really was hoping that Dovetail Games or one of the professional modelers would add a modernized Horseshoe Curve for Conrail and Norfolk Southern. I mean, I don't mind running Pennsylvania, but a more modern version of the route would be really great. I don't have to worry about any other trains, seeing as this is a quick drive and not a career scenario. Oh, hey, the light changed all of a sudden. Interesting. So as of the posting of this video, I should actually be going to Horseshoe Curve sometime in the fall. I think we're thinking September or October. Potentially. It's about 4 hours away from where I live. I'm also in Pennsylvania. But I've never been. So I want to go to the museum and go to the curve. Maybe see if there are some other hot spots to go around. So I believe we're on track 4, and we're going to stay that way all the way up the curve into Cresson. So it's going to be a pretty simple run. There's another tower. overpass there. It's just a regular overpass, not a rail overpass. I really like the Jeeps. This is a GP9. My favorite is personally the GP7, but I believe the 9 has more horsepower. Could be wrong there. But they were high hood units. They were road switchers, but I think they did a lot more yard switching because they had significant amount of horsepower. I think the downside to them again was the visibility, because you had your high hood. The only window the engineer could see out of was right here, so he had to look out his window quite a bit. They really weren't meant for long road trips, but locals and others were just fine. Many of them still survive today. One of my favorite tourist railroads, the Conway Scenic in New Hampshire, the White Mountains of New Hampshire and North Conway. One of their main locomotives is a GP7, or Jeep7, if you want to call it by its nickname. Painted in a red Main Central theme with its original number, 573. I've loved that locomotive ever since I was a kid. Had a nice Nathan P5, but they took it off for whatever reason. Last time I was up there, our hotel, the line ran in back of the hotel, and I never got any shots of it, and I wanted to, but it wasn't, when it was horning, you would hear horning. When the horn was going off, it wasn't a P5. I couldn't tell what it was. I think it sounded like a, Leslie. But I missed that P5. That was such a beautiful sounding P5 horn. Absolutely gorgeous. I couldn't tell you if it was an old cast or a new cast, but it sounded just wonderful. Should be coming up to our first crossing here. No, we're not going all that fast, but I really don't see the need to right now. We're not in any sort of rush. But yeah, I love that. I love that horn. Nathan P5 is one of my favorite train horns of all time. Probably my favorite train horn of all time. I don't really care for the K5s. K5 is pretty much the horn that everybody would know it if they heard it. It's the most commonly used horn in the United States. Speaking of horn. So I am gonna notch you up just a little bit. Now the grade's starting to get a little bit steeper. Yeah, I'm losing speed. I was a bit early on the horn there. Usually you want to do that through the crossing. Gotta go full throttle. Got an all clear signal. Which will probably change as we go through it. Nah, gonna stay the same. Pennsylvania Railroad had their own unique signaling style. As far as I'm aware, no other railroad used it. Other railroads might have used something similar. Yeah, we are just barely making it up here. The grade gets closer to 2%, and you can see it too. It's really going up. Once we make it up to Horseshoe Curve, it should level off a little bit. And I can probably ease off on the throttle. If it gets bad enough, I'll sand, but I don't think I'll have to. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, because I've still got a little ways to go before Horseshoe Curve, I'm going to cut here. And then I'll see you guys back when I'm just getting ready to get on it. And then we'll cut again until I'm closer to Cresson. So that way I save some video time. So I will see you guys in just a few seconds. Alright, we are back and we're getting ready to come up on the Horseshoe Curve. You can see on the bottom here we've got a speed reduction down to 30 from 35. The grade is tapered off a little bit. It's 1.3% as opposed to the 1.8% it was for most of the way up here. If you've got a bigger freight train than what I've got, though, it still is a struggle to get it up there. And I mean much bigger. I mean like a mile or two down the track. This is nothing. This is almost a local, if not one outright. And so we're coming up on the curve here, I believe. Yep, there she is. Horseshoe Curve. The viewing park right over there. You're probably wondering to yourself, why is it called Horseshoe Curve? Well, I'd say this is why. Shaped like a horseshoe. Really is a big feat of engineering. Try to get a view from this angle. Going around. Try to zoom out just a little bit. Hide the HUD. And screenshot. Second one for good measure. Just for the thumbnail. But yeah, you can see it. It is beautiful. It's a beautiful park. This is before they added the funicular to get up there, which is a little sort of tram that goes up and down because it's a steep hill to get up. We're still working our way uphill. The grade is getting lower and lower, but it'll increase once we've actually cleared the curve. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is famous Horseshoe Curve. Now, the difference between what it looked like then and what it looked like now is actually not that different. Like I said, in the viewing park there, you've got the funicular tram, but also when Conrail took over operations for railroading here, they took this track right here out. So this track isn't here anymore. Now it's just a 3-track with this sort of big gap in between these two rails. Probably because of a reduction in traffic after the Pennsylvania merged into Penn Central. And with a lack of passenger trains. Kind of sad when you think about it, really, but it's just kind of how history goes. But man, is it a great view. See the other end of the tracks all the way over here where we were. And on a busy day, you'd see trains going in multiple directions, passing each other. And hopefully when I go, there'll be a lot of traffic from the Norfolk Southern, who owns it now. But it'll depend on the time of day, and I'm sure we'll have to wait quite a bit. There is a live stream of Horseshoe Curve on YouTube. Virtual RailFan channel. They have a website which you can go and join and become a member. I'm contemplating doing that because I watch their live streams all the time. But it is neat. The Curve is live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Maybe down occasionally for maintenance, but they have tons of webcams and different railroading hotspots across America. Really good YouTube channel and website. That's Virtual RailFan. I'll have a link down in the description. Really good stuff. Alright, so now we begin the climb to Cresson in about 8 miles. So I will see you guys when we're closer to there. Alright guys, and we are getting closer and closer to Cresson. It's pretty much downhill from here. I'm just managing the brakes, so I don't get any speeding penalties, because I don't want those. Although in quick play they don't really, or quick drive rather, they don't really matter as much as they would in a career. But you still wanna be safe on the railroad, and I don't want to derail. I'm gonna apply some brake here. Go to the outside view. Very low throttle, if any, because the train is basically just coasting. You can see we're going at a pretty good pace here. Pretty soon we'll be up to 60 and we can really crank it if we want to. But we shouldn't have to, because we're coming right up to where we're supposed to be, which is going to be, unfortunately, another station platform, and that's not terribly accurate. But it is what it is. I think these are set up more so for passenger scenarios rather than freight, but that's okay. Can already see the stop. I hope you guys have enjoyed this little excursion around Horseshoe Curve. I did cut out quite a big chunk of it that was just getting to this point, basically, in order to save time on the video, because going all the way here would have been an editing nightmare. And that's how I'm going to do my videos going forward, because a lot of these are pretty long. Even the, quote, short routes are fairly long, so I want to make sure that I edit everything out so you guys aren't getting bored, and so I'm not running out of commentary. So I think from now on, that's how we're going to do things. Alright. Reduce throttle down. Start braking. stopped. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, that was GP9 around Horseshoe Curve from Altoona to Cresson. This was a passenger train we'd be dropping off or picking up. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I will see you guys in the next one. It's been Santa Fe Rail Guy. God bless. Have a good one. Peace.